Good morning, Joel.
Good morning, Ben.
How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
It's been a relatively smooth morning so far. It's been as most people know, it's Friday, February 22nd. Like actually, as I say, most people know. I didn't know the date. Friday, February 22nd, which means first day of the. Well, I mean, do you say the first day's Thursday?
Yeah, because people already did it.
Nah. First day of the 2019 CrossFit Games Open. We'll say here at Black Wolf.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're tuning in live on Instagram, we got quite the filter. Look at those sparkles.
We're on the Bifrost.
Look at those sparkles. And then Facebook, no sparkles. So Instagram is the way to go.
Javier, answer as well.
Why don't you turn that a little bit? Because I think you need to be more in this. You're not going to sit this close to me the whole time. Just you're right. Plus, we don't need that doorway. Yeah.
There you go.
But the first morning, and that's pretty much gonna be the bulk conversation today. Is kind of everything around that because we got teams, we've got the events themselves, the workouts themselves, who's doing it, who should be doing it. Still time to sign up. Kind of Joel's outlook on the Open since he'll be performing and crushing it as well. So we'll be getting to all of that. But first, it's been a week of weird weather. It's been wet and cold, and then was it Wednesday where we had like the most gorgeous day, and then the next day, yesterday,
it was Wednesday.
Like Wednesday was perfect weather.
It was beautiful, nice.
Like oh my gosh, perfect weather, and then this weather
Monday
rolls
was
in.
Great. Monday was great for a little bit.
That's right. So we've had a week of weird weather, but aside from that, I think it's been a pretty great week in the gym, and I'm sorry, right now it's in my head that this printer's still going. I printed papers at 4:30 in the morning, but then I shut my computer, and so your printing does not continue while your computer's shut.
That's dumb.
And now I
Dumb
really
robot.
want to cancel the print because I'm not going to listen to this for much longer.
I wonder if they could hear it. Javier, can you hear that?
Why don't we do this? Hey, Joel, why don't you explain to the group that might not know what is CrossFit Workout 19.1?
Uh-oh. CrossFit Workout 19.1. Oh, CrossFit Open Workout 19.1. You have a 15-minute AMRAP of 19 wall ball shots. How come we don't ever call them wall ball shots? We just call them wall balls, but they always refer to them as wall ball shots. Wall ball shots. I wrote it down on the board, and I was like, this is weird. Anyways, 15-minute AMRAP, 19 wall ball shots, 19-calorie row. So for 15 minutes, you're just doing wall balls and you're rowing. Two things that everybody loves, wall balls and rows. Things that really get people hopping out of the bed and excited for CrossFit in the morning. Wall balls and rows. But I mean, it's actually not that bad of a workout. I mean, honestly, that workout is pacing. I mean, we'll talk more about that in a second, but so all it is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And this afternoon, looks like we'll be running heats of 5, and a lot of y'all signed up. Wait, did it stop?
This is a good anecdote for life. Like you're just like, hey, 10 seconds. Please give me 10 seconds. Nope, I needed 30. Okay. Yeah. So we've already had 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. were small classes. We have. Oh shit! Actually, I'm gonna be able to tell you right now. No, I can tell you off the top of my head. 32 and 31. 63 people signed up.
63 of y'all signed up for the Open. Holy shnikes.
Hi, Chloe.
Holy shnikes. Chris Farley.
Chloe, if this was like a pop culture podcast, we'd be unpacking the dynamics of your engagement. So congratulations on that.
Holy crap, yes.
And I don't know what you've done to Chris because I mean I know he finally acted on his feelings. I'm proud of that boy for uncovering his true emotions and opening up to the world that he loves you and publicly stating it.
Yeah.
But then what concerned me more was like yesterday or something. I don't know that Chris. So Chloe, I don't know if Chris knows this. Facebook shared that he was watching Umbrella Academy on Netflix, which fine, and it looks like a fun show, but it doesn't seem like something he would be publicly putting out into the world.
I mean, it seems kind of cool.
It does seem pretty
cool.
Were
there heroes or something?
But this is the man that won't even admit he likes something when you see him enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know the episode of there's an episode of The Office where when they launch the Dunder Mifflin Infinity website, Stanley starts dancing.
Okay,
and,
Chris.
And Phyllis is sitting across from him and goes, "Stanley, you're dancing." And Stanley stops and goes, "No, I'm not." Chris, that's you. Okay, that's you. You're sitting there grooving to the music. We're like, "Oh, you like this?" You go, "Nope." So congratulations, Chloe. He loves you. We've always known he loves you.
4 rounds.
Proud of him for
6 rounds, 4
for
reps.
admitting it. I don't know why he told you to watch on Facebook while he's watching on Instagram. Seems like he got the better deal with the Prism filter.
Yeah. You wanted to join us on the Bifrost. But yes, congratulations, Chris and Chloe.
I don't understand this comment, Chloe. Are you saying on Facebook his Facebook status? Oh boy, yeah. So we're not gonna get into that. That seems like relationships. So let's get back to the fact that we've got 63 people signed up for the Open. Which, yeah, you can just X out of that. Sorry, leaving that up. So with 63 people, I mean, this is the biggest showing I think we've ever had.
I think so.
Which is very, very exciting. So
we're gonna need more rowers.
well, that's gonna be a part of we're gonna have a segment on why Ben hates the Open. But we're going to start with why the Open's amazing, because although Ben does hate the Open, it is not anything for like what y'all are able to take from it. I think the Open is incredibly powerful. I think the Open is an incredible opportunity, and I think the Open every single week, even in week 5 when 60% of people don't show up, it's still an amazing event to behold and to watch and be a part of because of the community coming together. And the same way you get that high by competing, like stepping out on the competition stage, and even if it's an amateur, like a scale competition, you get that high of like there's a judge and your reps count and they're verifying that you're doing it right.
Everyone's watching.
And then you're getting cheered on, and you realize that nobody will ever say, "Man, you really sucked."
Yeah, that's what everyone's worried about.
Nobody in the history of the Open, at least at Black Wolf, I can't speak for other gyms, and the stories we hear, maybe they do say that. But never in the history of the Open has someone finished an open workout and someone goes, "Well, you really mailed it in there, didn't you?" So
way to actually try.
It's always about how awesome you were.
Do you even CrossFit?
And so it's a great opportunity from the community perspective with 63 people. Oh my God, can you imagine the energy that's going to be in here?
Sorry, Chloe.
It's going to be nuts.
I just went.
Oh yeah. Well, she's watching on. Maybe that's why she's not listening to the podcast anymore.
Probably.
She's watching live because she can't hear your mouth noises. She can't hear your mouth noises on Instagram or Facebook Live. But yeah, so with 63, we're gonna have. I mean, wow! I didn't know there was 63 till just now. This is incredible. So
yeah, that's amazing.
That means Team Joel is going to be about 31 or 32 athletes, and Team Miranda is going to be 31 or 32 athletes. That's
should be with us next week.
There we go. And that does, yes, Miranda and her boyfriend Robert coming down here next weekend. I believe I think it's a 3-day journey for them because they're from the north.
North.
I mean, we watched Casey drive from Nebraska, and she made it in 2 days.
Yeah, and she brought the cold.
And she drove by herself. At least Miranda and Robert. Well, actually, they probably both have cars, and I bet they both need their cars down here.
Probably.
Man, that's tough. It's how much she likes you guys. It's how much she likes you guys driving all the way down from Kenosha. So she'll be joining us next weekend, getting into the groove that following week, and then hitting it full speed the week after that. So that's exciting. But she'll be doing this Open along with y'all this weekend, obviously not with us physically. And next weekend, probably going to miss that as well. So she'll first time working out here in the Open will be week number 3. But she'll be your fearless leader the entire way. Yeah. Now, how we're going to score these teams, I've kind of hinted at that. 1, overall participation per team. So if Joel's team has 32 athletes and 24 complete the workout, then we'll find a way to score that. It might be relative, meaning if Miranda's team has 24 as well, then it's a wash. You know, if Miranda's team has 26, then I don't know, maybe we'll do points per person that participates, something like that. And then the other thing we're going to do is we'll do top 3 RX, top 3 scaled each week. We're not going to score everybody because I don't want you to feel the pressure of like letting the team down. If you come up against something that just befuddles you and you can't quite make it, hey, you shouldn't have to worry that your lower score is going to bring your team down. So we're not going to let that happen. Right. It's always going to be the people. But then as the weeks progress, we're going to have fun ways to get, because if we do top 3 each time, even RX or scaled, then, a lot of times those same 3 athletes show up. So what we're going to find ways to do is weight the consistency of the athletes and make it some fun ways. Maybe top 3 scaled athletes at TryRx. We're going to try some different stuff over the 5 weeks so everybody can kind of contribute. And then no matter what, if you participate, you're going to contribute because we're going to score it based on level of participation per team. So be a part of this. Get signed up if you haven't signed up already. We've hinted at it. And you might have heard it if you were in the Facebook pre-show, or the Instagram pre-show when we saw L sign on. First, like today's not going to have any firsts. Well, maybe like first RX wall ball.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, but like even that person wouldn't think that was that special. So maybe a first RX wall ball. But like when the double unders come in, when the muscle ups come in, when the pull ups come in, it's not a guarantee, but it almost with 63 people, I would say we're guaranteed to see a first of each of those.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's really, really exciting. Speaking of first, I shared that video of you PRing your clean last year.
That was nuts.
Can we talk about your mother not knowing it was you, and what does that mean? Who did she think it was? Who else in this gym looks like you?
I have no idea.
And did she not see the video a year ago? Because then she commented 4 different times about.
I thought she was there.
Was she not in the building?
I could have sworn she was there.
But anyway, that video it reminded us of how awesome it can be in here. Check it out. Joel PR is clean. What was the weight?
That was 315.
315 for the first time, man. And so
just send it.
Really, really awesome. And that was after. Was that the muscle or the?
That was the dumbbell squat burpee one.
That one was gross.
That was gross.
Gross.
That was pretty bad. So I don't. That was a fun one. That was surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
But I'd say that because I did well for myself on that one. But like, what really makes the open better is if you just treat it as another workout. That is it. Everyone gets too flustered and crazy because like, oh, it's the open. I got to do great. Just do your best like you're supposed to every time.
Yeah.
2017 was stressful. 2018 was the best. I mean, I've only had those 2 opens.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, like, my mindset 2018 was like, it's just another workout. I'm going to do my best. Whatever I do, that's what I get. And I had a fantastic time. People put too much unneeded stress on the open. Like, unless you're really going to the games, it's just another workout.
Yep.
And we're all doing it on a Friday night, and it's a lot more fun. So don't get stressed out about the open.
In your opinion, why do you think people can get so stressed out?
I don't know.
I mean, and understanding, like,
I think it's just wanting to perform really well, not wanting to do really bad, not wanting to be at the bottom. Yeah, the typical reasons. Oh yeah, that thing. We gotta talk about that. Yeah, I think it's. I don't know what it is. It's just the fact that it's a worldwide competition. Like they hear competition maybe, and it's like, or maybe we're making a big deal, so they're making a big deal.
Well, I mean, I guess if you remember Battle Buddy, people were nervous about that. And I do think it was that competition aspect. And if you've ever done Battle Buddy, you know kind of how ridiculous it is to be nervous of that event.
Yeah.
Because it's really well programmed. What Chad put together there, it caters to every ability. Yeah. Like if you're a fastie, you can still smoke that workout. Mm-hmm. And if you're not a fastie, you get a good workout, but you're not going to get stuck anywhere. Yeah. And you have a partner and all that stuff. And so, but as soon as we attach competition to it, whoa, Ben, hey, do you think I should sign up? And you're like, duh. Yeah. But then that's almost like I don't want to be disrespectful to your concern.
And they also like automatically correlate competition with super duper fit.
That's true too.
Oh, you're a competitor?
That's true too. Yeah.
You must be a monster.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before. Doing a CrossFit competition, it's really no different than doing a 5K. Mm-hmm. If someone said, "Hey, I'm running a 5K," would you go, "Oh, you're an Olympic runner"? Yeah. Like, no, you wouldn't. Are you going to try to win? There was a sitcom I used to watch called Rules of Engagement. It has Patrick Warburton, David Spade in it. Occasionally the reruns were on TBS. I think it's hilarious. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, but I
remember that show.
I used to watch it like every single day. It's just it's a bad sitcom. Like it's funny. Anyways, there's this one of the scenes, kind of the dopey guy. They sign up for a marathon, and he's like, "Hey, if we're gonna win this thing," and the other character's like, "Win? We're just trying to finish." But that's what like a CrossFit comp is. Like you're not trying to win. Yeah. So yes, some people are absolutely. But if you sign up, like it's a 5K, it's a half marathon. You're not trying to win a half marathon. When you run a half, you're running against yourself. Like everybody's really good at accepting that. Like I ran a 2:15, I want to run a 2:10, I want to run a 2:05. Not once have I heard a half marathoner go, "Oh, I'm really nervous because I don't think I can win." Yeah. But as soon as it's working out, it's like, I'm really nervous because I think I'm not going to podium. Well, no, you're not going to podium, but
Yeah.
that shouldn't even be like. Why is that even on your
Yeah.
mind?
It's not a real concern.
And then there's the open where it's like you weren't going to regionals anyways.
yeah. Like chill out.
Chill out.
It's
Chill out, bro.
just a workout. Everyone's watching. That's it.
That's it. Well, I think you got to be careful there because I think that's the real thing.
That's it.
It's the everyone's watching.
It's definitely that. That's
But-
that added pressure. Everyone's watching.
And that's a real pressure. We
my
shouldn't discredit that. I think anybody would get nervous towing the starting line of anything where someone's going to be able to watch you the whole time.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and tell you something. Unless someone loves you, and even then, but like unless someone really is into you, nobody's going to watch you for more than 10 seconds. There's so much going on.
Very true.
It is very boring to watch the same person do 19 wall balls. Like, I don't think my eyes stay on unless I'm counting for them. I don't think I watch an athlete do an entire set of more than 5 reps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a spectator, I'm looking around.
Yeah.
So stop being so egotistical. Nobody wants to look at you that much. They just want to tell you good job. People want to cheer you on.
Mm-hmm.
People want to help you move and encourage you. Okay? So get signed up if you haven't already. If you are signed up, we got a big night tonight.
Yeah.
Got a big night tonight. Real quick, this awesome painting. This was a gift.
Gym rat.
This was a gift from Matty Garcia's dad. He painted it for me, and I can't believe how amazing it is. I mean,
so good.
This thing, and if you're listening, it's a canvas print, or it's not a print. It's on canvas.
Yeah.
It's actually the same sizes that we brought back from Painting with a Twist, but the difference is Matty's dad's actually an artist, so he painted a pretty bomb-ass Mickey Mouse, a Jack Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is jacked.
Got some Joel-inspired footwear on.
Yeah.
Joel's favorite reflective colors.
Yeah.
And then
Ayo Mini.
And it says Gym Rat around Mickey's head. And then it's got the Black Wolf BW
Nice.
on the bottom right of it.
Check that out, IG.
I mean, one, I don't get a lot of gifts.
Nice.
So it was already a lot really meaningful from that perspective. But two, it's a gift that's custom. I mean, he made this out of nothing.
One of one.
And
you know what's funny? I thought Jessica Garcia did this.
Jay Garcia.
I was like, oh shit.
He signed it Jay Garcia.
She's an artist.
We got ourselves a Jay Garcia as well.
It all makes sense.
So thank you, Madeline. Please tell your dad again how much this means to me. It means a lot. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much for that. I want to kind of go into what to expect tonight. I want to go into what we have. I guess
it's not a sexy workout. Let's just throw that out.
Well,
there.
I'm wondering, should I complain now or should I complain later? We've already been very positive, so I just get it out like my little.
No, you should complain now.
Okay.
What you complain about?
I hate the open.
Oh yeah. People should know that.
Yeah. I hate the open.
It's no big deal.
I've run it.
It's not y'all.
In every gym I've been. Yeah, it's not y'all at all. I love what the open does. It's one of those things where I dread it, and then it happens, and the overwhelming amount of energy offsets the negative. But before week 1, and then about week 4 it comes back because I'm just tired. I hate the open. I hate the preparation. I hate the unknown, and not even as an athlete. Although I have feelings on that as well. You know, from the affiliate perspective, we're at the whims of HQ. And so today, for example, we got 63 people. I got 5 rowers. Hey, I don't mind that there's rowing in a workout. Why it's got to be the 15-minute workout? Why can't the row be in the 10 or the 8-minute workout where we could get more heats in quicker?
Yeah.
You know, we're at the whim of HQ. If they want to dump 6 different movements in the same workout for a 30-minute Metcon, they're allowed to do that, you know.
Jeez.
And really, the rower, the only other things we run into, the dumbbells, you know, the number of dumbbells needed. And so being at the whim of HQ, to me, it gives me anxiety because you have to wait Thursday night. And literally, because we're running at 5 a.m. And so we have to wait till 7 p.m. Thursday. And then maybe we find out. And then when we do find out, we have to figure out a way to facilitate it.
Yeah.
It always works out. You know, when I found out who was going to be
one of the people working out for the announcement, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a grinder of a workout.
Who?
Sam Briggs.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, Sam
Well,
Briggs.
and that
Oh,
you know
no.
what's weird, and I don't know your feelings on this. So I don't understand why they didn't hype that announcement.
I don't know.
Like, why
either.
did they? Like, I agree with everything they've done in terms of cut back on the media, don't promote the games as much. It's about health and wellness. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna have an event,
Yeah,
promote the event.
that was a weird one because they had 3 live. It was 3
Right.
different, like Brazil, France, and UK.
But they didn't
and-
talk about it once.
Yeah, I didn't think there was gonna be an announcement. Kirby's the one that told me, and she said who the person was. I was like, wait, wow.
Can you believe they laid off Rory?
What?
McKiernan doesn't work for HQ anymore.
What do you do?
No,
What did
that's
you do, Rory?
the media team layoffs. And Tyson Oldroyd, who
What?
Miranda's ex-husband, who's been a part of HQ for a really long time.
They know something.
I would have to
'Cause
believe
they're like good personalities.
they were amazing personalities.
Huh. Cross is doing some weird stuff.
Like Roy versus Boz.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
But they're not doing that this. I mean, obviously, maybe they knew. I mean,
Hmm.
and maybe that's why they didn't hype it, because if Rory wasn't going to be behind the mic, they didn't have a switch. Castro's not going to travel.
I mean, their MCs were kind of boring.
Yeah, it just
From what I glanced
I
at.
just feel like they could have done a better job, even within the parameters. Like,
I mean, the footage wasn't that great. Like nothing was.
it's like they were trying to impress upon us how they really did cut back on
Yeah,
media.
exactly.
It's like you still own the equipment, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's still at least one person who knows how
Yeah.
it works, right?
Where the hell's Heber at? Is it Heber?
I don't know.
Haber?
I've never heard anybody actually say it.
Just H cannon.
I read it all the time.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. But yeah, Sam Briggs is like, oh, it's gonna be a grinder.
Yeah. So
Balls
from the
and
logistics
calories.
perspective, tonight 63 athletes. We're going to be able to run 5 at a time. So that's
Let's see, how many heats is that? 12 heats at the least. 13 heats. 63. 13
well,
heats.
not everybody comes tonight. We've already knocked out 8 people.
Okay.
So now we're down to 55.
Mhm.
So 11 heats. But I have to run them every 17 minutes.
Yeah.
So basically 3 heats an hour.
Mm-hmm.
11 heats. That's 4 hours.
Jesus.
Thanks, CrossFit.
We gotta jack a rower from somebody.
But they need the rower too.
Yeah, they need them too.
Like, that's what's tough about this. That's what's tough. And then you want to take a step further. There's this bullshit behind the scenes. Like, I've got to take the judges course, and I've got to pay, and it's only $10. Okay, not a big deal. It's bullshit that it's still paid. Like, one, we're not sending anybody to the games.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never once counted for a regional athlete.
You might not even have to take it.
Yeah, I do. I read. I
shit.
thought I wouldn't have to, but
yeah, if you're an affiliate owner. Or
if
what
you're the
is it?
manager,
That's affiliate manager. That's what it was.
believe me, last night I was about to text you like you're the manager. It's like, hey, new job. You got to take this thing. Now, here's the problem. It's not about what you know. It's about gaming the video. And then now, as I showed Joel this morning, it's about navigating bugs. Joel and I
Yeah.
both watched the muscle up video, and I'm sorry, man. We counted all the good reps and all the bad reps, and it still said it didn't count. Like,
It was weird.
but it's a problem now I have to deal with, whether I have to contact HQ or guess
Ugh.
until I get it right. It's unnecessary.
It's too many combinations.
It's unnecessary. Honestly, man, I'm a level 2. Like, okay, if I get my level 3, do I not have to take the judges course?
Yeah, you had to do spot the flaw on that stupid test.
Like level 4, do I not have to take the judges course? This is ludicrous. One, that the judges course still exists, because
Yeah.
nobody's ever learned from the judges course, and if someone did learn from the judges course, they shouldn't be judging.
You think you have to do it every year, and they throw like the movements that are going to be in the open every year?
It's the same. I haven't paid it that close attention, but I don't think so.
To know, like,
If I went, it'd be hard to remember going back, but I do not think that's true, because I think pistols are in the judges course every year.
Okay.
That'd be cute if that was. I don't think they do. I think they just waste your time.
They wouldn't be that dumb.
They just waste your time. They just waste your time. That's it.
Goodness.
So judges course, worrying about logistics, all this stuff. Then finally, the final piece. Like, everything's on us.
Mm-hmm.
HQ doesn't help with anything. So we're promoting. We're encouraging people to pay HQ $20. We're encouraging, technically we're supposed to encourage anybody counting to be a judge. I never do that because I think it's bullshit. Like, we're doing all the promotion to get people to pay HQ, and they're just making it difficult.
Yeah.
Like, now that there's no regionals, they should write these workouts for the most amount of people to do it at one time.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no regionals. This doesn't matter for literally, except for one man and one woman in America. It doesn't matter. And guess it's going to be
nuts.
Matt Frazier. So already, zero
He's already
men
going.
for no men and one woman in America. The Open matters.
And teams can't do Open. You see that?
I don't know anything about
Well,
that.
I mean, I just off of Rich Froning's post, he's like, well, teams aren't allowed, don't qualify to do Open workouts. Well, they cannot qualify through the Open. So he put on his story, vote on my story if I should do the Open. So, might be Matt Rich Froning. No, I think Matt Frazier might.
Rich is back.
Rich is back.
Rich is back.
The GOAT.
Rich is back. Yeah.
Is he the GOAT though? I don't know.
It's just, and you know, it's funny. I was talking to my therapist.
You're talking to Rich?
I was talking to Rich. Actually, Homer was talking to Rich the other day.
Shit.
Our boy Homer's good friends with Rich.
That's cool.
Yeah, they went to college together.
Bring him by, Homer.
Tennessee
cool.
Tech.
Let's get Rich
I was talking to my therapist last night, and by the way, I am intentionally saying that because I've decided, or I think that, because when I hear someone, at least before I went to therapy, if I heard someone, well, my therapist said, I automatically was like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you're not a sane person.
You told your therapist that?
No.
Or your therapist told you that?
No, I'm saying that if like a year ago, actually it's been therapy longer than that. Like 3 years ago, you were like, well, when I was talking to my therapist, I'm like, Joel's got a screw loose.
Yeah, a therapist?
And so, I mean, I'm as at fault as anybody else in terms of not normalizing therapy. But so I figured if I say, you know, as much as possible, like what I speak to my therapist about. But I told him last night, the Open makes me feel burned out, even when I'm not burned out. Because it's extra. We have to be here. I have to be here 5 Fridays in a row. It's real kick in the pants when I have a weekend off, you know? And then it obligates coaches. Like, I mean, you're participating. And we're going to set it up. And we got better last year at us being less involved to where, because a few years ago, it was like we were counting everything and like running around and being really hands-on. And so it's gotten a little bit more manageable. But it's 5 weeks in a row for an event that's not ours, and it's a great event, but it's community building, but we already build community. It's just this extra thing, man. And so now that I'm actually burned out, now that I'm actually a raw nub that is largely ineffective in anything I do because I'm at my wit's end.
I wouldn't say you're ineffective.
Well,
I would say you're pretty effective.
Well, it doesn't feel like it because I want to die. And so
not die.
It's
like take a nap. Nap.
It's something that it's damn near too much. And that's on me because it's about delegation and we can work our way around it. We see it coming. Hey, guess what? It's coming again in the fall. We have 2 Opens this year.
Damn, sure is right.
So super duper fun. But those are my complaints. That's just me venting. It's an amazing event. Getting it done. It's a lot like any event we host where there's a lot of frustration, but overall, oh my gosh, the good that comes from it far outweighs the negative. If I lose my mind over this and y'all have a good time, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
So have a good time, folks.
Yeah, have a great time.
Have a good time.
And then personally, the Open is not my favorite because of where I've been at. You know, every year since becoming an owner in 2012, I've gotten farther and farther away from my ideal fitness. And the Open is just a reminder of me not living the best that I can. And that's personal. But I wanted to put that out there because I think it can be a reminder to y'all as well. I'm sure there's people that struggle with that as well. Whether it's you had these great plans at next year's Open, you were going to be better prepared, or and that's less serious because I think we all get smoked in an open workout. Like, you know what, next year I'm gonna have my muscle ups. Next year I'm gonna have unbroken double unders, and then the next year comes and there's always something you're like, man, I wish I had paid more attention. Unbroken wall balls today. Next year I'm gonna have 20 rep working capacity on wall balls. So then 19 would be no problem. Then you get there like 10 and 9, 12 and 6, or 12 and 7. And then for others of us, that fall completely out of working out, or we fall way out of our routine, and we have some people that have made their way back recently, it's a real big reminder of like, man, I remember when I was good at the Open. I remember when I'd have top scores in the Open, for the gym, not for the region or the city, not for the neighborhood. Congratulations. You're the 3,009th fittest in the Heights. So I remember when I used to be good at this stuff. I remember when I used to turn in the best score, at least for one of the workouts.
Yeah.
And then the next Open comes, I will not even be on the top 10. And it is ego, and you got to check your ego, but at some point, it does wear on you. And so, not my favorite time of year. I'm really happy for everybody that takes part, but like, you guys have seen me. As soon as the event's over, I go in the closet and I just hide, and then I wait till everybody leaves. And so, it's going to be a great year. 63 people. We are going to kill it. We're going to fill this place with energy. But those are the downsides from my perspective. But let's get positive. Let's get back to the positive. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to start early. So what we'll do is we're actually going to make the 5:30 class. And don't worry, if you're coming to 5:30 as not an Open participant, you're still going to get a workout in because the workout we have written for non-Open participants does not involve the rower, okay? But what we're going to do, I'll send an email out here after this podcast, if you're not listening live, that you are welcome to arrive at 5:30 and begin signing in and warming up, and we will run the first heat when we run the first heat for the class. And that way we start. That way we're not here until 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay? So we'll get an hour early.
That would suck.
And I would imagine we'll have 40 people tonight, not 60, because we're going to have people at 8:30 that get counted. We have people at 4:30 getting counted, 5:30 getting counted. So if we have 40 people, that's 8 heats. And so every 17 minutes or so, 80, 56, 136, 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 16 minutes. Okay, so that is much more feasible.
Yeah.
That's an 8:45 finish instead of a 10:15 finish. And so I think we're going to be fine no matter what, but what we'll do is we'll create the opportunity. We'll encourage people to come to the 5:30 class to get it done a little bit earlier. Anybody that can get here before work, and then still running the bulk between 6:30 and 8:30. Okay, so that's how we'll make that adjustment. What is your strategy on this workout? First of all, what is your strategy, and then what do you think the average strategy should be?
Well, I think
that is, just so everybody knows, including Joel, that's two very different things.
Almost the same. Pace the road to go unbroken in wall balls, because you can't go any faster on wall balls. I mean, sure, you could bomb your squat, but that's not going to be recommended. The goal would be to go unbroken there, so you got to be steady Eddie on wall balls, focus on your breathing. So then pace the road to allow that. The row is where you recover from your wall balls. And I can say that because it's very similar. It reminds me of one of the workouts I did for TFX. It was rowing, cleans, wall balls. The row is where you recovered. That's where you caught your breath again. That way you can move, go unbroken in the cleans, unbroken in the wall balls. So some of y'all are going to feel like you're going to be going slower than you need to on the row, and that's okay because you need to save it for the wall balls, because the wall balls is what gets you. The row, you can speed up or slow down. Wall balls, there's only one speed you got there. And you have to focus on your breathing, squat and throw, stay calm. You get to 10, you do 5 more, you get to 15, you do 4 more, you're at 19. Easier said than done, but honestly, it's pacing the row. That's what's gonna make or break you. Your ability to pace your row to allow you to go unbroken in the wall balls, and that's my game plan. Pace the row to go unbroken in wall balls.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the most important thing.
We were talking this morning in the 5 and 6 with the athletes, and I had the 5 a.m. I had partner 1 do 10 calories, and I had partner 2 do 10 calories, and then I went, because that's 20 for those math majors out there, and then I changed the units back to meters, and 20 calories was anywhere between 320 and 360.
That makes sense.
For the different ability levels we had in the building. So the point in saying that is, I think it's sometimes a mistake to have because what I do, and I make this mistake. So let me preface it. The mistake I make, is that a comment?
CJ, unbroken first 2 rounds of wall balls and then 12 and 7. Okay, so his first 2 rounds were unbroken. Then he went 12 wall balls.
He already did it?
Balls. Yeah, he did 6 rounds, 4 reps this morning.
Well done.
Good job, Chris.
Good job, Chris. Where are you working out, Chris?
Yeah, comment. I forgot. It's not Big D.
I thought we had ruined all other boxes for you.
It's not Big D. I know he said he wasn't going to go there. He said
He ruined all other men for you. So we used. I didn't think about it in 5 during 6 a.m. And it was from Suzanne Sass. So hey, Suzanne, your Sass finally paid off. She used the first screen, where you can see meters and calories.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you watch meters, you don't get baited into pulling so hard.
Yeah.
Because calories don't constantly turn over. When it doesn't turn, you pull the next one harder.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have a great discipline not to. But if you're watching meters and you're getting the kind of serotonin response of like meters are coming off.
Yeah. You see that your pulls are actually contributing to.
I think you can slow down. Or not slow down, but not be as aggressive. The other thing we talked about was damper setting.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't had like an explicit conversation about this, but we both have brought the damper down on our own rowing. And it started with Clint a year ago. Yeah. And him mentioning he only rows on a 4.
Yeah, 4.
And that's
where I keep it.
And that's a big dude. And like if anybody's gonna be on a 10, it should be a guy that's 6'4", 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was like,
that's what he
no,
is.
I don't row anything above a 4.
That says low battery.
Good.
It'll last. That'll last for sure.
Oh, I didn't charge it last night. That's why.
That'll definitely last.
So if a guy that's 6'4", 250 pounds of finely tuned muscle is rowing on a 4, then maybe your ass should be rowing on a 4. But then I learned something what was that team competition in Kingwood that Angie and Kirby and Summer and Erica?
That was that was one at the Honda Civic Center. I always forget what it's called.
Anyway, Wad of Gods, God Wads?
No.
Wad Gods?
Wad
Wars?
Wad Wars.
War of Wads?
Wad
War of the
Wars.
Wads? Wads of the Wars?
Something like that.
Anyways, I messed up by
Wad
telling
Wars.
Erica and Summer to lower their damper setting, but they're not efficient rowers. So they weren't at that time. They weren't as smooth as I think they've become.
Yeah.
If you're a shitty rower, basically, up the damper.
Yeah.
If you don't have the technique, which, by the way, just listen to your coaches and you'd have the technique. But if you find yourself pushing through your tippy toes, if you find yourself not using your posterior chain, using those quads, then I do think jump starting the row with an early bicep pull does keep you more competitive, okay? But if you slow your ass down and row correctly, you need to lower that damper setting. And I always reference, it was not just Clint, it was then I went on that date with the University of Michigan rower that used to like to mock CrossFit. And she was like, I love when I'm in the corporate gym and a CrossFitter's on the rower, and she's like, put the resistance on 10. And I just start laughing at her. And I was like, well, that's a little rude. Oh, my God. Is that sparkle on you? Like when it moves?
Kind of.
Look at that. Joel sparkling.
There you go. I rode on the 4. Steady Eddie. That's what he said.
There
Vanessa
you go.
said Wad Wars. Thank you, Vanessa.
There you go. And so lower the damper setting. Because what happens on the reason you feel strong at 10 is because you're pulling with the bicep early. Okay? Well, guess what you need? You need your arms to feel good for the wall balls. Okay? Yeah. The rowing is already going to make the arms burn when you do it correctly. It's just like a wall ball. Joel, if he doesn't stand up quickly, he's got to use his shoulders to push the ball. Yeah. But if he stands up quickly in the early rounds, his shoulders won't burn until the later rounds. Now, at some point, everything burns. Like at some point, you got to use everything. But when you're fresh, you know you can jump that ball to the target. Well, on the rower, if you row on a heavier damper setting, yes, you might be getting more calories per pull or whatever, but you're sacrificing. Okay, you're sacrificing that energy and that by doing it inefficiently. And so lowering that damper setting and getting your technique right is going to allow you to operate for longer into this workout.
Yeah. I feel like the lower damper setting versus high damper setting is almost like using an RPM rope to learn double unders versus using an RX jump rope for double unders.
You got to get it right.
You got to get it. You could feel the double unders with the RX rope. You can't feel it with the RPM. So if you don't have that double under technique, you shouldn't use an RPM jump rope.
Well, because in what you're talking about is on a 10,
feel that.
You get tension on the chain sooner.
Yeah.
On a 4, if I'm too fast, I don't get tension on the chain.
You're going to fall off.
You don't get any pull.
Yeah.
You'll come halfway out before you catch.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to catch from the pull. And so on a 10, I don't have to be efficient. I can be sloppy in, and I'm gonna get a good catch on the way out.
Yeah.
But on a 4, And so, but then the question is like, well, if I'm going to be sloppy, then I might need to do a 10.
Yeah.
Don't.
No.
That's not the lesson here.
No.
The lesson is a challenge. The challenge is do it right.
Yes.
Okay? And so you need to slow your roll on the way in. In fact, why don't you watch some rowing videos before you come in today? Okay? Watch their cadence.
Yeah.
It's a strong rowers are strong people.
Yeah.
The men and women who row are strong as hell. You know what they're not doing? They're not rushing in. The reset is almost peaceful.
Yeah.
The reset is almost I follow Clemson rowing on Instagram, and I follow Longhorn UT rowing on Instagram. And when they're in the barn on the ergs, it's almost relaxing because it's long and strong, and then it dies.
Yeah.
And then it reset. 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 It's a lullaby.
And like if our athletes today go to games.crossfit.com and watch the replay and watch how everyone rows, no one is going in out, in out, in
Nobody's
out,
going
in
in and
out.
out.
It's hard out, slow in. Hard out, slow in.
And what does that also allow?
sorry,
It allows
I'm
for
sorry.
breathing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if I'm
Not breathing.
where's my breath?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be you can sound like a dog.
Like I said, the row is where you're gonna. Unfortunately, it's where you have to catch your breath.
Well, and then the final thing. Okay, so you can row a 1:3500,
Mm-hmm.
but if you row a 1:30 pace or you
Yeah.
row a 2-minute pace for 300 meters,
Yeah.
the difference isn't that big.
Yeah.
The difference is in you being able to stand up and operate.
Mm-hmm.
If you row a 2-minute pace, you're going to be able to pop. By the way, 2-minute 500 pace
Yeah.
for 300 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're still done in well under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to be able to get up and operate immediately. But if you smoke it, you're like, I row a 1:35. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to row that same pace. Well, congratulations. You're going to beat me by what, 10, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
But then you're going to be on your knees,
Mm-hmm.
sucking wind, and I'm going to be able to walk up to my ball, toss it a few times, like, what's up, bro? Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you working yet?
Out of breath.
So my point is,
Quads burn.
the reward for rowing hard is not there.
Not today, folks. Not for 15 minutes.
Slow your ass down.
Now, if it was just one round for time.
Absolutely. If this was a 6-minute workout, this was a 4-minute workout, something like that,
Yeah.
go.
Smoke it.
If you're in the last round, you got a minute left, go.
Yeah.
But in terms of the first 14 minutes,
Oh, that hurts so much.
slow your ass down.
You remember last year's 18.1 was a row workout.
Yep.
It was a long one.
Yep.
Toe to bar. What was it dumbbell? It was
Dumbbell
jerk.
clean and jerk.
It was hang, right?
Mhm.
Just from the hang. It was like 5. Like you also needed every 5. You
Small-
also needed every 5 reps.
It was, yeah.
Or 3 reps.
It was
something like
8 toes to bar.
14, 12 cal row.
No, it was 8 toes to bar, then the clean and jerk, then the row.
Yeah.
I don't know the number on the clean and jerk.
I know it was alternate every 5 reps.
Yeah.
I think it was actually it was probably 10.
Must have been 10.
5.
Yeah.
That was an interesting.
It was a fun one.
That was-
I think it was 15 minutes as well. It might have been 20 actually.
No, it was long. It was
Ugh.
a long workout.
I remember I actually did that one.
Yeah. That was gross. But yeah, it's the same
But
thing.
we used that as an example this morning too.
Mm-hmm.
14 calories for the boys and what, 10 calories for the ladies? 12
It was
calories?
12.
That's closer to a sprint.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing.
I mean,
Even
that
if
took
you
about
sprint,
45
if you
seconds.
sprint 19 calories in fatigue state, not
Mm-hmm.
fresh, because fresh I think you could do it fast enough. Sprint 19 calories in a fatigue state, you're working for about a minute, probably a little bit more.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be like running hard for more than a minute and then trying to do stuff.
Mhm.
That's really hard to do. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're going to the games, that's exactly what you got to do. That's exactly what you got to do. You got to get around every 90 seconds. But we're not going to the games. We got to stop taking Rich Froning's philosophy and applying it to ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not rich. You know, we say it all the time. Hey, RX says 135.95. What is that to you? Not do 135.95. If Joel would go unbroken, what is the weight where you would go unbroken? And so the row needs to be the same thing. What is it relative to you? What can you keep up with?
Yeah. What is your pace?
But all that being said, guys, no matter what,
It's just-
the average score right now is about 5+, about 6 rounds, right at 6 rounds for our classes. So if you do that math, that's less than 120 wall balls, and that's less than 120 calories on the row. 120 calories on the row is about 1,200 meters. Well, a little over 1,000.
yeah.
My point in bringing up those numbers, we do harder stuff than this.
Yeah.
We make y'all do harder stuff than this all the time. Okay? I'm not saying you're going to win this workout, but what I'm saying is if you're in the I don't know if I'm going to survive this workout camp, I make you do worse stuff than this daily. You've done 3 harder workouts this week than this.
Yeah.
Everybody can do this workout. Okay? So you should absolutely get in here.
It's just
absolutely,
another workout.
absolutely. That's it.
It's
That's the
just
truth right there.
Another workout. And you know what's beautiful is that they start you with the wall balls.
Yeah.
So you can't really mess that up. Like
Yeah.
if you start on the row, you could potentially mess that up. The workout begins with wall
Well,
balls.
so that brings me to a point. The standard of wall ball.
Uh-oh.
We are really going to have to get on the counters tonight. I try as much as possible to take the burden off the counters for like no reps.
Yeah. All the way down, all the way up.
If I was worried just about the height of the ball, that's more discrepancy. Like, did I see the line underneath the ball? Did I not see the line underneath the ball? I can argue that till I'm blue in the face. When you're counting for somebody and they're short squatting and you're just going, good job, I want to kill you.
It's okay
I
to
want
tell
to
them no.
kill you.
It's okay to no rep people sometimes.
It's not okay. It doesn't matter if it's okay. You have to.
Yeah.
Because I'm staring at you, losing hope in my life's work, going, this is what I've taught you.
Yeah.
I've taught you that that's the acceptable movement standard.
Mm-hmm.
This is the beauty of the open is that you are forced to hold a standard.
Yep.
And so,
Worldwide.
For those of you, and there's a lot of memes out there, and we don't have a huge issue with this. There's a lot of memes out there about the guy who finishes first in every workout normally, then getting last because he actually had to count his reps.
Yeah.
I've been in gyms like that. We don't have that. We have a few people that don't count real well, but they're not finishing first in classes, so don't stress about that.
There are some funny memes.
There are some really funny memes about that.
There was a Simpsons one, and it was about taking the judge's course. It was like
the one where he hides and comes out. He falls in the bushes and comes back out.
No, not that one. It's the neighbor. What's his name? With the glasses, very religious.
Ned Flanders.
Yeah. It's Ned in the window, and he's holding a piece of paper, and it's like whenever you complete the judge's course, and you're gonna judge that guy that's really fast, and his sign says Christ is watching. I mean, it was like in quotation marks, really fast, because let's assume this guy is not
well, and so
horrible movement standards.
On the wall balls today,
Picture that.
The reason they're first, and this is low key because people just assume they have them because they don't really check the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Your ball has to cross the line. Like I have to see white between the black line and where the ball touches. There has to be at least a speck of white paint because the ball has to be above the line.
19 times.
There may be someone tonight that is not able to do that with a 14 or a 20-pound ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. But what we're not going to do is be like, pity reps.
Yeah.
Oh, you tried. If you don't get a double under, it doesn't count. Like, that's just it. That's the challenge. That's the beauty of this. We're here to hold a standard.
It's almost a reality check of sorts.
That's what it is. But we think reality checks are only for, like, bad people. Like, we all need reality checks.
Yes.
Some of us are going to discover we are way more awesome than we think we are. Mm-hmm. And some of us might very well discover that we've been lying to ourselves.
Yes, and that's
that maybe
important.
my squats are a little bit short. That maybe I'm not as strong as I thought I was. And that's good because you can't let your ego get in the way of progress.
Oh, okay. That's a good standard. Another standard. Wall balls must start from the standing position. So some people kind of do like a wall ball clean before going into a wall ball.
Well, if they did a proper clean, they'd start from a standing position.
Correct. They would have to end up, eventually. Yes, you're right. But yeah, just.
I don't know who. I do know what you're talking about, like where they kind of like hunch over the ball and then sit and then try. Yeah. But like, I would say, like, I don't think there's a single advantage to that.
No, actually, I think I've done that, but it's when I've accidentally dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, so that's the real standard.
Yeah.
If you drop the ball, you have to stop it before you pick it up.
Yeah.
You can't even even if you don't go right into the rep, you can't even catch it on the bounce and then hold it.
I've done that before.
You have to set the ball down. It cannot move, then pick the ball back up.
I've done that before, so I can see where that's standard.
We used to have an athlete, and they're not here anymore. I forget who it was, but they used to like do singles on wall balls and play the bounce.
I feel like that was very recent.
They threw it,
goodness,
waited for it to drop, caught the bounce.
It's like bird box out there. Just kidding.
What?
It's really foggy, misty, whichever one you want to call.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, did you see that movie?
I did.
How was it?
Well, Well, I saw it because.
Wait, did we talk about this already? It's
you
people's fears.
It's
whatever they fear the most.
Yeah, and it makes them kill themselves.
Makes them kill themselves.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I watched it before it blew up. Like I
Yeah.
watched it when it came out because my sister's like, "Hey, this new movie came out. Let's watch it."
Yeah.
And now I think about it, it was all right. The movie wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I just was able to watch it before the memes. So I think it was. If it's like if I saw the memes, I'm like I'm not gonna watch that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone finally stopped talking about it, but
Right.
I started again. Oh shit! I'm sorry, folks.
E-
Anyway,
Joel's gonna start a trend. Everybody's gonna talk about Bird Box
let's
now.
start
because-
talking about Bird Box again. Yeah, no. I mean, it was an alright movie.
Yeah. I'm not
Wasn't that
gonna.
great.
It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna see it.
Yeah, you don't need to watch it.
I'm not gonna see it.
It's-
I'm
it was
watching.
overhyped.
Narcos Mexico is so
Yeah, that's getting some praise.
legit. Narcos Kiki is that's Michael Pena. Michael Pena. I mean everybody's in love with him right now, and like rightfully so. And then now I listen to the Dax.
He's
The
one of
Dax.
I heard that's good.
So Dax Shepard has a podcast, and it's really, really good. Jessica Brock, who I'm going to have on the Feed the Wolf podcast in 2 weeks, I believe. She recommended it to me. We're kind of trying to recommend podcasts to each other, and she recommended the Dax Shepard podcast. And I assumed, because Dax is a funny guy, so I sold him short. I was like, oh, it's gonna just be jokes and like dick and fart jokes. It's actually really deep. The first one I listened to was the Michael Pena one, where he interviewed him right after they filmed, or a while after they filmed Chips.
How long has he? Oh yeah, they were both in Chips. That's right.
And Dax was the director.
He was the director.
He
of
wrote it
Chips.
and directed it.
Okay.
So I went back. I'd seen Chips already. Didn't care for it.
The movie.
The movie.
I haven't seen it.
I grew up watching it.
Yeah,
show.
I imagine the show.
The show is amazing.
Yeah, old school motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean motorcycle cops back
Yeah.
in California
Chips.
Highway Patrol.
You watch Chips?
but-
I feel like that was a line in a movie. You watch Chips? And like in a funny movie.
Maybe, but I don't watch funny movies.
That's
But I watched this movie. Didn't like it the first time.
You watch
But
Chips?
then once. But this is the trick with me. If you need me to like something, I need to know something about someone involved, and then I'll
Yeah.
love it.
Okay, yeah,
Because once I heard them talk to each other and them talk about the dynamics and them talking about the challenges of filming and why they did what they did, I watched it again and I loved it.
Michael Pena, he's directed or produced.
I don't know if he's directed or
before?
produced.
I feel like he's done something.
In that podcast, though, man, I'm in love with him because he talks
Yeah.
about the money. He goes, yeah, people say I'm a movie star, but like I live in an apartment. He's like, I ain't living like that. Because
Well-
me and my wife, we're not doing that. We're not taking the bait. We're not gonna go spend all this
Yeah.
because it's fleeting. It might not be there tomorrow.
No, that's very like one of the podcasts I listen to. Like one of the guys, he's an actor comedian, Brian Callen. He always talks about how people think actors have this glamorous life, and it's not. You could be up here one day, and the next day you're down here. Like,
You ever?
that's
okay,
nuts.
So like speaking of Brian Callen, it's funny because he came up on another podcast I listened to.
yeah, he's a well-read guy.
So, well, this is, like we watch Joe Rogan a lot.
Yeah.
So we know who Brian Callen is.
Yeah.
Because like we watch Joe Rogan, so we know Brian Callen because he's on that show. And then we also like Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen on Fire and the Kid,
Yeah.
even though that's not technically the same, but they might
Yeah.
as well be in the same studio because
Yeah.
it seems like the same stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so like, if someone came in here and was like, "Who's Brian Callen?" It'd be like, "What?
Yeah.
How do you not know who that is?"
Yeah.
But if you're not a part of that Joe Rogan universe,
Mm-hmm.
then what would you have seen him in? He's in that sitcom right now.
Yeah. Schooled.
But I haven't seen it. So like I only know
Before
about
it
it.
was the Goldbergs, and that's no longer happening. So
I haven't
Schooled
even
was
seen
a
that.
spinoff.
So it's
I've
like,
seen an episode of Goldbergs, and it was super funny.
but like if you haven't seen it and you're not a part of this universe, Brian Callen's nobody to you.
Yeah.
He was in some movies in the 90s, and then he never really took.
Yeah.
But it turned out because he's a stand-up comedian. Like he
Yeah.
does other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to the
And you like stand up more.
Bill Simmons, my other podcast family besides Joe Rogan universe is the kind of Bill Simmons, the Ringer Podcast Network, and they have a show called The Rewatchables.
Okay.
What they do is they take movies that you could always rewatch.
Oh, okay.
Like if they came on TV,
like Forrest Gump.
you would leave it on. Okay, and so like they recently did Old School, and
Will Ferrell?
yes. And so what they'll do is they'll do a deep dive. They'll do internet research. They call it half-ass internet research.
Okay.
They'll find out who was supposed to take the role, who didn't take the role. Like they
That
go
is
into
interesting.
like how the movie was accepted. And when you watch it, they all watched it the night before, and they'll talk about how it feels the second time through.
Ah.
And so like, for some of them it's like, well, some of the jokes did not age well.
Yeah.
Saying some derogatory terms that people got away with then that they can't get away with now.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're like looking at it through a different lens and all this stuff. One of the movies had Brian Callen in it, okay? And it was funny because they were like, yeah, nothing really worked out for him, did it? And the reason I bring this up is it's weird when people talk about stuff but they
Yeah.
don't know about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no. And I'm sure it happens on this all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we talk out of our ass on some things, and there people are at home going, "You
That's not
idiots,
right."
that's not right."
Yeah.
But like, cause like Bill Simmons, like seriously, I don't know that it really. I mean, he's been in some stuff, but it hasn't really. And one of the guys goes, "Wait, isn't he kind of in the Joe Rogan universe? I think it's working out okay, but he didn't know either." And so like they ended on like Brian Callen didn't work out.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because I was listening to another show last night. It was a podcast, the Ringer podcast on their basketball show. And they're talking about Anthony Davis demanding trades from New Orleans. I talked about that already in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Davis went to Disney World, so my jam.
Yeah.
And he said that his favorite park was Hollywood Studios because he wants to go to L.A. And he said his favorite ride in Hollywood Studios was Tower of Terror. And then they go, does he even fit? That doesn't make sense. I don't think you wrote it. And they go, it's a tight ride. And I'm sitting there going, no, it's not. It's bench seating. He could easily fit in. There's no ceiling on it. It's an open air elevator that falls. And, like, it's just weird when people speak of stuff that you know well, like, a lot about.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, because it kind of turned me off. I skipped ahead. I didn't want to hear any of their opinions about it.
Yeah.
Because no matter what is going to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if y'all skip ahead a lot on what we talk about.
It's possible.
It's possible.
I mean, that's what Brian says. He skips over whenever we go into tangents.
Well, that's true.
Let's get back to it. We got a few more minutes.
I don't know how we went on these tangents, but
We were talking about the CrossFit Open.
still talking about strategy? Are we still
we're
on
talking
strategy?
about strategy.
Still talking about
Yeah.
strategy. The strategy is
We
you need
got
to show up
into Brian
tonight.
Callen.
Show up tonight as early as you can.
Where were you going with Brian Callen?
We're gonna have a recommended. We're gonna have a recommended warm up. We're gonna have a heat schedule, so you're gonna know when you're going. And then we're gonna cheer each other on, count for each other, tell each other they're awesome. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fun night.
it's gonna be fun.
And Joel will be doing the workout with y'all tonight.
I'm always fascinated with like hearing hit stories or any of like people I listen to, like any of their stories that I find very successful, like usually it's within the comedic realm, because I listen to Joe Rogan, listen to Fighter and Kid, and Bill Burr and all that, and they're doing so good right now.
Yep.
But they always talk about how long it took for that to happen.
Yep.
And it hasn't always been going well for them. Like they've had to work and work and work and work, and it hasn't been the brightest of times for a majority of their life.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit. That's just how it goes.
Well, and it's
You just
interesting.
have to stick to it. Like
Yeah.
like they always talk about how like it was rough times. Like they didn't know how they were gonna make it. Like they were scratching the ground for change and whatnot. They were doing any gig they could, and like they're doing good now.
I'll tell you this right now. Nobody knows what we're putting into what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And it's not their job to know.
Yeah.
But when this thing continues to, I mean, the rate we're growing right now, I already know we're something special, but we are going to be publicly something special by midsummer. Like we are going to be recognized. And that's going to be kind of the same thing of like, oh yeah, it just happened. Like, fuck, no, it didn't. I wanted to close this place 4 times now.
Yeah.
Like, we lost the lease on another building. We've had to fight. We've had issues with the city. We've been screwed out of money by architects. Like, we've been through it all. Not to mention, you and me are running all these classes by ourselves. And thank God Maddie Garcia is stepping up in the fitness, and now Kim's over there because, like, I think that's been a huge relief. You know,
and Amanda on Sundays when she's in here,
and then Amanda on Sundays. I know she's been gone a lot recently, but like, regardless, I'm very grateful that there was someone to take Sundays, and that didn't add that 7th day to our schedule.
Yeah,
you know. But when this pops off and we're able to relax and take some vacation time and get away, people are going to just kind of write it off as like, oh, yeah, the business does well. So, man. And so, yeah, what you're saying about those guys, I see it in sports all the time where there'll be the star, and then people be like, oh, he's lazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I get what you're saying. Maybe he is not currently working, but like to get to where they are, there's natural born talent's real for sure.
Yeah, for some, yeah.
Right, it exists. Not everybody has it, but
sure.
It exists. You know, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Agreed. But when you're talking about professional sports, specifically like big professional sports, it's not a mistake that they're there.
Yeah.
Like, and I think I've said this on the podcast. There's a guy in New York who has a radio show now, and he's been retired out of the NBA for like 10 years. And when he played, he was a bench player. He was a tall white guy, never played. Forget his name. And a caller was talking shit. Called in just talking about how NBA players are lazy, they don't work very hard, and regular guys could beat them. And this guy, after he's been retired, didn't play when he was was a bench player.
Yeah.
The call, I think the call challenged him to a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Dude, the radio host smoked him like 13-0 3 times.
Damn.
Without issue. And he hadn't been playing. But the point is,
You don't appreciate the
I've
skill.
also said the Open's a great example. When the CrossFit Games first got on ESPN, what do you think happened? Every chubby dude in Texas was like, I'm going to the games. Every chubby, because men are idiots. Men, we're all ego. We're like, I could do that. I could do that. I could be on the TV there doing the thing that they're doing better than there. I could throw a spiral better than Tom Brady. Shut up. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, respect greatness. It's like art.
Yeah.
It's like art. Tom Brady's about to die. Okay? He's like 72. Enjoy the fact that he's so dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can hate dominance. That's fine. Enjoy beauty in things. Okay? Fandom is ridiculous. Fandom is absurd, okay? But let's get back to the point. When the games aired on ESPN, I think 2012.
12 or 13. I think it's 12.
12.
I watched
First-
13 where they
first-
had the log.
Yeah, first year was 12, I believe. Because immediately, they go on TV, immediately dudes start coming in and be like, I want to go to the games.
Okay.
It's like, next year I'm going to the games. And I'm like, have you done CrossFit before? Nope. What have you been doing for working out? I don't know. Bench press.
Bench, squat,
I'm like, you're not going to the games.
some pull-ups.
And that's why I started getting the analogy of like,
supersets, bro.
just because you go out and you're great, just because you go out on Thursday and can throw a spiral doesn't mean you're playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like if your 30-year-old friend threw a spiral on Thanksgiving Day and then goes, yeah, man, I'm going to play for the Texans next year, you would all know it's a joke.
Yeah.
But we disrespect professional athletes. We don't understand.
They're there
We
for a
disrespect
reason.
celebrities. Like,
Yeah.
because celebrity, it gets that bad name.
Yeah.
But they are even the most, like, I don't like Logan Paul. I don't
Yeah.
like the content that the YouTube group, the Pauls, have put out. I don't
Mhm.
like pranks. I don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? They learned the game, and they
Yeah.
worked their ass off at it.
They're popular because
No matter what.
they're-
It wasn't
yeah.
a mistake. You don't, PewDiePie, whatever. You don't have that. It's consistency
Mhm.
over time. It
Yeah.
is hard work.
over
and,
time.
And the other day, the podcast or the vloggers that I always talk about, Madison and I watch and Tim Tracker, someone made a comment about like, yeah, my life would be easy too if all I did was travel and go to Disney. It's like, first of all, homeboy, that boy works from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. every single day. Then he does the vlog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're getting paid from YouTube. But for 10 years, he worked all day. And just recently, he's been able to step back.
Yeah.
We always disrespect the journey. But the journey is all we have, so we should respect the journey in others.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what doesn't matter? Your actual achievement. Your achievement
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's the work you put in to get there.
Yeah. Because whenever you do achieve it, what's next?
That's it. So if you cheated to get there, it's empty.
Yeah.
It's
The
empty.
achievement. Got to work hard,
And you
folks.
can't replicate it because you cheated.
Yep.
So we do disrespect that journey all the time. And those guys, it's funny because actually you just played to my old point, which was like my Ryan Russillo was talking about how he was at an ESPN event and they invited Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura because it was in L.A., and he didn't know who they were. I mean, he knew kind of who they were. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen their preview special
Yeah.
on Netflix. But, like, he was like, yeah, isn't his name Burt? Like, he was asking his producer. And I was like, how do you not know who these two guys are?
Yeah.
You know? But he was like, yeah, and he just kept taking his shirt off. And then,
Yeah.
then he walked up
Shame.
to Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith was the host of the event. And he was like,
I saw Theo Vaughn last night.
hey, Stephen, you saw, like,
I went to go see Theo Vaughn last night. He was
Where?
at the Improv.
how'd it go?
It was funny.
That's pretty cool.
It was funny.
That's-
I want to start going to comedy shows more.
Yeah.
So like I saw that he was coming into town like on Instagram. I was like, buy the ticket. So I went to go see.
I'd be interested if you start going to, like, just local shows, if you'd still like it.
I've seen that on Tuesdays they do open mic night. I wonder what after because they're like in the comedy world they're always talking about crazy people go to open
Right.
mic night. So I'm curious to see what crazy people on open mic.
I've been to
nights.
one comedy show.
Bobby Lee's coming.
Okay.
Joey Diaz is coming. Eddie Griffin's coming.
Okay.
Who else is what's his name? He was the voice. No, I'm sorry, he wasn't. Wears glasses, curly hair. What's very? He always plays a funny character. Not Carrot Top. Damn it.
Andy Dick?
He wasn't. She's out of my league. man, I forget his name, but if you know his name, I know you know his
Oh,
name.
from Silicon Valley.
Yes.
T.J. Miller.
Him. He's coming. I've never seen a stand-up though, but he's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
There's a few people coming. I'm like, I want to go to all these shows.
But I'm wondering about
Bobby Lee's coming.
like if you would like amateur comedy, because like I went and they had amateur openers. I don't remember who the act was because it was whoever I was dating at the time was very excited about it, and it was not a great show. And I felt bad because I was like, not funny, because every amateur just did blowjob jokes. That's all they had. They just did a bunch of blowjob jokes.
Yeah.
The men and the women. I was just like, is this the go-to?
It's the plan B. They're not laughing at my jokes. This is what I got to throw in there.
It was not great, and then it put me off because I'm like,
bomb jokes. I think they call them bomber jokes, or something like that. Like if you're bombing, go to this.
Just go to it.
It'll work. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it made me think they were bombing even more. But
fun.
no, I've been trying to follow like who's coming to town, mainly because I always want to check like if there's anybody I can get tickets for you to go see. But I think comedy would be a pretty interesting kind of hobby to pursue, like in terms of watching, like the way people go to sport ball.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to go to amateur comedy if you found it to be satisfying.
Yeah.
If it's trash.
Okay. 3-2.
If it's trash, then
yeah.
I don't know. You say 32?
No, 3 minutes. 3-2.
I was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, no, 3-2.
We probably are done. Let's.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. I think we talked about some good stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maddie's dad.
This painting's amazing.
Awesome. Shout out Lulu. Sorry.
Oh, that's it.
You can continue on that one. I saw the performance. It was great.
Last 2 minutes. What did you? How was it?
It was awesome. It was a cool show. It was all art, everything. In town, local artists and out of town artists apparently. Photography, paintings, poetry. I think not slam poetry. Poetry, dance, people dancing.
So obviously your favorite thing was Dance House Fitness professional dance team.
Man, so it's also an embarrassing story for me as well.
Did you get up on stage?
You'd be very disappointed.
Did you get up on stage?
I did, but I did nothing. Because I was like, I like froze. I went shy mode. Like people were like, "What?"
What was the
I got on stage because I knew the MC. She recognized me. She like on the mic out loud. Is that Joel? I'm like, oh no! I have this hat on. No one was supposed to recognize me. And then going on like, he's the dance. He's a great dancer.
Local celebrity.
Oh goodness.
But how was the dance show?
It was great.
Lulu killed it.
She crushed it. She's in her element. When she's in there, like facials and everything. Like she owned it. Her and the whole team owned it. They did an awesome job. There were other I didn't know other dance teams were going. I thought they were the only act.
Yeah.
There were multiple, and everyone was just fantastic.
So Dance House was your favorite team. What was your second favorite thing to see or watch?
Let's see. All the dancing.
You're bad
was
at
cool.
this part because you're gonna list 10 things.
No.
One
The
favorite
art,
thing.
Looking at the art, because art is what you make of it.
Yep.
It's what you think it is.
Yep.
As an artist, your art is your art.
Charles Darwin said when he was about to die, he said that his only regret was that he didn't make time to either read poetry or look at art once a week.
Yeah, no, it's
he was too focused on the machine, like the grind, and he wished he had taken a day.
I like looking at the art because like it's so different. Like there are no rules in art.
Right.
I had to tell Kirby that like 20 times, but there are no rules in art. There are no rules. Art is art. I don't know. It's so interesting, but I enjoyed looking at that. People drew cards. People had photography for art. People had paintings where it just looked like they just were pissed off at the canvas and just started chunking shit at it. And again, that's that abstract art, and it's like, what do you see here?
Yeah.
And it was great. I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I just wish I did that more often.
Well, I'm glad you got to go.
It was great.
Awesome.
We had good showing. We had Maddie, Steven, myself, Jessica Porras went, Raphael went, Kirby and her roommate went, and then Lulu had all her friends. So it was good. It was awesome.
Okay.
Where are they? I don't see any of them.
You got 5.
Okay.
They're all sitting on the boxes, and Molly's by the desk.
Okay.
So we're going to wrap this up. Great job,
Wrap it
Lulu.
up,
Congratulations on an awesome show.
Congratulations.
I mean, that's a professional dance team. They will be doing more events locally, and so we will let y'all know when that's going to happen. We're going to wrap this up. Get in here tonight. We're going to have oh my gosh, it's going to be an amazing time. And to Javier, to answer your question, Javier, no, we don't have a spirit animal just yet for Team Joel. We will be agreeing to that by the end of the day.
Yeah. Might be Catacorn. Who knows? See you later, folks. Thanks for tuning into the podcast.
Y'all have a
Hope you
fabulous
enjoyed
day.
It. Is episode 42?
40.